The fundamental purpose of an event like this is really about learning through knowledge sharing. And one of the things we've done to try and make that as productive as possible is to create an app. Most of you should have had an invitation to that app. I would strongly recommend that you download that because it gives you the ability to browse information on all of our partners, all of the delegates. Enables you to look at which of those people would have information that's relevant to yourself and interesting, and you can then set specific meetings with those people. If anybody hasn't had an invitation, then please just try and get a business card to either myself or Nick or anybody else wearing a Gibfin logo, and I will try and get that, those invitations out early this morning. For those of you who saw the presentation earlier, it was the video that was up earlier, I thought it was talking about the phenomenal opportunities and interests that we all face around blockchain, but also pointing out that a lot of people haven't really bought into those or don't really appreciate it yet, including governments. Well, I think we are extremely fortunate here in Gibraltar to have a government that not only recognises those opportunities, but has embraced them fully. And on that note, I'd like to invite Fabian Picardo, Chief Minister, to officially open the event. Chief Minister.
Thank you, Pete. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gibraltar. A particularly special welcome to our international visitors, sponsors, and distinguished guests. As you know, Gibraltar has positioned itself as an innovative and forward-looking jurisdiction. We continue to seek new areas of business to develop and excel in. We have a hugely successful track record demonstrated by the strength and quality inherent in our e-gaming community. We've demonstrated global leadership by creating and delivering the DLT regulatory framework in January 2018, the first in the world. Firms are looking for the regulatory certainty provided by that framework. It allows them to plan long-term with confidence and in an encouraging and supportive environment. But perhaps most importantly, it allows them to make significant investments which are required to deliver world-class businesses moving forward. And this DLT space is more than just in respect of financial services. It's an opportunity to influence across many areas, including education and social responsibility. And we're not just sitting back and resting on our achievements to date. We have ambitious plans to develop and evolve our proposition even further. Next on the list of deliverables is regulation for token sales. That's due in Q2 of 2018. And after that, we will consider opportunities in the fund space also. In doing so, our regulator will maintain the very highest standards. No soft or light touch is acceptable here. We are only interested in quality firms that value their reputation as highly as we do ours. Our responsibility is to protect consumers and in that way protect our jurisdiction. Coming to Gibraltar for this conference will allow you who visit us and us who reside here to exchange ideas and best practices for the benefit of all. The conference will hear from a number of speakers, not least my friend and colleague, the Minister for Commerce, Albert Isola. It is under his stewardship that this project moved from exciting concept to timely delivery. You will hear also from members of the innovation team at the Gibraltar Financial Services Commission. And so I trust that those of you who are visiting us will learn a little about this magnificent rock of ours and how we do business here. Gibraltar continues to deliver strong economic performance. We continue to invest in our future. We continue to diversify our offering to meet future challenges. We face the future with assured resilience and deep confidence. Gibraltar is open for business, and we thank you for taking an interest in what we can do for you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Chief Minister. And just to go along with what he said, I'd now like to invite Albert Isler, Minister of Commerce, to speak to us as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Pete. A very good morning to you all, and a very warm welcome to those of you who have come for the first time to listen and to learn about what we are doing and looking to do in the DLT space. I think the Chief Minister's more or less read my script, left very little for me to say. But what I'd like to do, I think, is give you some context in terms of what we've done, why we've done it, what we are currently looking towards, and where we see the future landscape for the jurisdiction. I think I first have to start by saying thank you, and an enormous thank you to the working group, to David Parodi, Paul Estengo, Joey Garcia, and the team at Financial Services Commission, Sean Jones, Willy Gracia, and Nikki Gomez, who are all with us today, because they have demonstrated the beauty of how Gibraltar can work. The government, the private sector, and the regulator working hand in hand, looking at an opportunity, looking at how we can do and engage in that opportunity safely, and providing a creative and innovative regulatory framework for business to happen. Because in this DLT space, when we talk about regulation, the one thing we don't want to do is stifle the very thing that we're seeking to encourage, which is innovation. And so the blockchain technology provides us all with the ability to engage in a new technology which will provide solutions not just in financial services, which seems to be the prime focus at the early stages, but of course in science, in health, in geography, in education, in every single aspect of health of our daily lives. Blockchain will play a part. And therefore, when we embrace the technology, which is what we are doing, we are looking to see in what way we can participate and help you to seek out those opportunities and to lead from the front of the pack, which is where we currently stand. I think from government's perspective, when we started this journey 3 years ago, we were cautious. I've said this before. And if I'm going to be really honest, we were more than cautious. We were actually quite negative. We didn't like a lot of the things around the space and a lot of the people around the space. But in those short 3 years since we did the first consultation, the second consultation, and the third consultation, what we found is the quality of the people involved and the partners and stakeholders in this business have become more and more serious, more and more professional, and more committed to working within set guidelines and set frameworks. And so it made our decision much easier to embrace innovation in the way that we have. And I've talked before about the parallels we run with gaming. Gibraltar is the online gaming community of the world. We have probably the best known firms in the world are all headquartered here. And when we started that 23 years ago, other jurisdictions looked and said, what on earth are you doing? Why is Gibraltar getting involved in online gaming? Of course, 23 years ago, it wasn't even online, it was telephone betting. But as the internet came in and the business grew and the opportunities became greater, we took a very simple view of how and on what terms we were prepared to engage in that business sector. And that was only quality operators, they have to be regulated, and the mind and management of those businesses had to be in Gibraltar. And so today, with some 20, just south of 20 B2C and about 11 B2B firms, we capture over 75% of the UK online gaming business. It's an enormous chunk. But we've done that in the right way. And when we started, we didn't even have the legislation in place to be able to regulate gaming firms. So how do we regulate them? We did it by contract. So we issued them with licenses, and the license itself was the regulatory instrument which enabled us to make sure that we were doing things in the way that we wanted to do. And bizarrely, many of the things that we cared about then, we care about today. AML, KYC, all the standard things that we still battle with today to get better and better at. And so when you flip that onto the DLT space and how we can work up to blockchain, our philosophy is exactly the same. We are looking for quality operators, working within a regulatory environment, and mind and management has to be in Gibraltar. And we will not compromise on those basic principles because that philosophy is what's worked for us. And if you rewind the clock those 23 years, you will see that in those 23 years, not one single Gibraltar gaming firm has failed. And so we believe the model works, and we believe we need to apply that same model to this sector. But as I said at the outset, what is critical for us is that we encourage innovation, that we embrace innovation, that we stand tall and say we are proud to be working with the blockchain community, because we believe it has a long-term sustainable business to run, which we want to be a part of. And so, as the Chief Minister has intimated just shortly before I started, what is next? Well, the one area that has given us great concern is the token sales. There's a lot of, I think what's been referred to in other of these presentations that I've attended, as a lot of shitcoins, if I can call them that. We don't want those here. And our position on that is really quite simple. If we are going to be serious about what we're doing, in the same way that we provide regulatory certainty for the blockchain community, we want to likewise for token sales. And we want good token sales to be issued from Gibraltar and listed on our exchanges that are already well advanced in setting up, with GBX being the first mover. So next week, we will be publishing our main policy paper on token sales, which follows from the consultation document that we issued some weeks ago, probably 6 to 8 weeks ago. And we will set out clearly our expectations and what are the guidelines that the drafters are preparing the legislation to reflect. And I hope you will find that interesting. It seeks to cover many of the things that we've already covered in the blockchain space, but with specific attention to how the token sales happen, the levels of transparency, the levels of disclosure, and more importantly, how those are going to be adhered to after the token sale has happened. And so we've taken a deep dive into token sales and how those are run. Best practice is what we always ask all of our professional firms here to adopt. And, you know, in a world which is so new, and in a world where we are suddenly all filled with so many crypto experts who have become experts overnight, it's important that we understand what we are doing. It's important that we understand the need for regulation and minimum sets of standards. And it's important primarily that you, the professionals out in the space, understand what we expect from you. And those expectations, I have to tell you, are high. You are our gatekeepers. You are the ones that are dealing with businesses every day of the week that want to do these token sales and other DLT-related business. And we are very much relying on you as our front door to keep an eye out and to ensure that the work that you do and the work that you get involved in is of the highest quality, and we don't find ourselves with these coins, I won't say the word again, coming from our jurisdiction. Because the durability of our success will depend on how we manage ourselves now. And so I'm extremely keen, and I don't apologize for restating it, we look to you to assist us and support us in ensuring that the first brand of that philosophy, which is quality operators, is adhered to by all. And one interesting feature of the token regulations is that once you have the policy position, you will know what we're going to be looking for. So firms that seek to get licensed in the future under the new regime as authorized sponsors, for example, we will be able to look back to see how you've behaved to ensure that you've met the standards that we expect of you. So I ask for your support, I ask for your understanding, and I ask for your diligence in ensuring that we all do what is best for the jurisdiction and for the long-term benefit of this business for our jurisdiction. As the Chief Minister also intimated, we're also looking at funds and in what way the crowdfunding and the funding principles that are alive in the blockchain space can be applied to our existing funds regime, so we'll be doing some work on that. We will also further down the road be looking at in what way PCCs could potentially be involved in this space, but I don't want to get distracted by that. Those are further along down the road. You have the benefit of listening a little bit later this morning to Sean Jones and Willie Gracia from the Financial Services Commission. They will give you a bit more meat on the bone in terms of where we're hoping to go in the regulation of tokens. And I hope you will have plenty of opportunities to talk about the experiences at the firms that are already in the process of applications. We started, as you all know, on the 2nd of January with a new regime for blockchain. We've had between 25 and 30 applications going through the process, and I understand there are some very good names that we're very proud to have in Gibraltar. and there are many more to come. And I understand that there's a serious amount of work amongst our professional firms in dealing with those processes and applications. So it's an extremely exciting time for Gibraltar. We're proud of what we've done. We're not scared of innovating. We're happy to do it, but we want to do it carefully, sensibly, and in a regulated framework which will deliver the consumers with the protection that they deserve and the transparency and disclosure that we expect from anyone that does business from our jurisdiction. So I wish you a fabulously interesting day. I'm sure it will be. You've got some incredible speakers, and I hope that the networking will serve to better explain to you in more detail than I can give today what we are looking to do in the future in the blockchain. So Pete, thank you very much for the opportunity and have a good day. Thank you.